Oh,
She hasn't started yet.
jeez.
I have. Good.
I'll call to the meeting to order at 5 o'clock. Thank you to the committee members for joining us, anyone watching, and of course, anyone who might be watching at a later time with the recording. So just a reminder to our committee members that with a recent policy that was approved by council, committee meetings will be recorded and posted online for viewing at the public's leisure. I will start with item number 2 and remind everyone to declare any community interest when it arises. Section 3, I don't believe we have any delegations. I'm seeing no. We'll jump right into item 4, which is the adoption of the committee meeting minutes. I have a motion moved by Mayor Atkinson, seconded by Councillor Wolvette, that the minutes be adopted by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee, and that those confidential minutes of the closed session of the committee remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And that is for the minutes for May 4th, 2023. I'll just quickly open it up to see if anyone has any questions or concerns. Atkinson?
Question, how did we make out with Neptune and the start date? I believe there was some discussion around that.
Chair, if I may. Actually, Josh attended a meeting with them yesterday. Neptune confirmed that they are now targeting a start date of August. With a start date of no later than September. So hopefully they come good for that and we can see all of the meters replaced in this budget year. There may be some stragglers left over next year, but the majority of the project should be done this year.
Thank you.
Anything else? Nothing? All right, so we have that motion on the floor for the May 4th minutes. All in favor? Carried. We'll move on to item 5, which is business arising from the previous meetings. I know we just spoke about the Neptune is what I had. So is there anything else for the team members? Nothing.
Just one question, I guess for Adam. With respect to the water meter replacement, there's been a few people ask me, what are we doing with the people who have 2 water meters that used to be one where you had the sewer charges deducted? Are we replacing, like getting rid of those meters completely when we're in the houses, or what's the plan there?
Yes, I am. Through the chair, if I may, I would imagine we would remove both meters and only put back the one, as the town does not support the dual meter system anymore. Unless it's a rental unit or where they use the meter for internal metering purposes, which then they can request to leave.
Good. Anything else?
I see it, Paul's got.
Yeah. Paul, are you you're there? Do you have anything? In another room for a second. So I'll move on to item 6, which is accounts. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wolvette, seconded by Mayor Atkinson, that the accounts as listed be received by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee. It is the water list as of December 2022, water list as of April 2023, the sewer list as of December 2022, and the sewer list as of April 2023. I'll start with Mr. Sabansky.
It's just so for the committee's knowledge, why you're seeing December payables in June is those are some year-end reconciliations, trying to tie up the 2022 budget.
So with that, I will open it up where I'll start with Councillor Wolvette. Any questions?
No, looks good to me, sir.
Yeah, just a question and comment. The McDonald excavating at the water towers, it's the one in Wyoming, or?
Yes, sir.
And built a berm up around that?
Berm and a swale to deflect the water away from the neighboring property to reduce the water issues they were having as our water was directed towards their building.
Okay. And just a comment, it's good to see some of our residents are taking advantage of the backwater valve grant program.
This has been very good uptake. We're very happy with the performance so far. We're hoping we can open it up to other residents in the near future.
Good.
No questions.
Is community member Rapel there? Or are you still?
We have our volume up.
Unmuted.
Wave your hands. Mr. Paul. Sign language.
Say.
You on? So we have the motion on the floor for the accounts as listed to be received by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? So we'll move into item 7 for the staff reports. 7.1, I have a motion moved by Councilor Wolvette, seconded by Mayor Atkinson. That the report prepared by Adam Sabansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 25th, 2023, regarding quotations for fire hydrant flow testing services be received, and that the quote from Flow Metrics Technical Services, Inc. for $29,213.77 without HST be accepted. I will open that up for, or Mr. Smith, you want anything to add?
Nope, I'm very familiar with this company. This is their wheelhouse providing these types of services. So we're definitely comfortable with the work being done by Flow Matrix. And the value of the quote is close to what we expected. I have no objections to moving forward, even though we only had the one quote.
Any questions? I'll start with committee member.
No questions.
Councilor Wolvette, go ahead.
This is not something Jacobs can do, or do they do this same type of testing or no?
No, sir. This is specialized fire flow testing. It requires specialized equipment and multiple staff to carry out. So this is something we typically contract out at all times to different companies.
Sure.
Couple of questions, if I may. Through you to Mr. Sabansky, how are we going to transfer this information to the fire department so they will have proper records of that? Is that part of the deal? Do this company net Flow Metrics transfer that information to them and then absorb there, or do we have to do that?
Pardon me. So it's done multiple ways. At the end, we'll be given digital and physical results. The digital results will be passed on to the fire department. Additionally, we will next summer be repainting all of our fire hydrants. And we will color code them as per NFPA. So they'll be able to tell the flow ranges by the bonnet color of the hydrant. So that way the fire department is aware of the ratings of each hydrant.
I was wondering if that color was going to be done. Okay. And how come there's others that may have looked at the project but didn't get in on it?
I know from talking to some of the smaller firms that actually do work for us on a regular basis, they don't have the capacity to do a large project like this. They're more than happy to do a couple hydrants here and there, but they are busy enough with their, fire system businesses that they don't really want to take their staff away to do this kind of work.
Thank you.
We'll assume committee member Rapel is not there unless he pipes in for the next little while.
I am here.
Here we are. Committee Rapel, do you have any questions about the item 7.1?
7.1. Sorry, the audio just got in the middle of 7.1. I have no further comment.
Okay, thank you. So with that motion on the floor, I will call for the vote. All in favor?
In favor.
So I'll move on to item 7.2. We have a motion on the floor moved by Councilor Wolvette, seconded by committee member Jeff LeBlue. The report prepared by Adam Sabansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 25th, 2023, regarding the food waste diversion food cycler pilot program be received, endorsed, and forwarded to council for final approval. We'll open that up for any questions for Mr. Sabansky. I'll start on my left with Mr. Benson.
Before we jump in, I'd just like to note that we do have a representative from Food Cycler with us digitally today. Christina Zardo is attending, so if there's any specific questions that I am unable to answer in regards to the product, I'm sure Christina would be glad to help us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I will open that up to questions. I'll start with Councillor Wolvette, if you have anything for Christina or Mr. Szymanski.
I guess I just have a comment, maybe. I mean, if this is what people would like, and I know that, you know, nowadays with all the green and recycling, composting is an extremely important topic in the population. So, you know, if people want to buy into it and buy these, it isn't going to hurt the town. Can only improve things. So I have no issue with it. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's none of it's bad.
So thank you, Councillor Wolvett. We are anticipating a reasonable buy-in to this program. Through the years in conversation with our residents, I have heard that especially people in Wyoming who prior to amalgamation had composting, would love to see composting return in some fashion or form to the town. So I think we'll have very good buy-in on this. Additionally, St. Clair Township just rolled out their own program a few months ago, and they have had oversubscription to it. And there was a news article, which I believe I forwarded on to the committee at the last minute, that reflected that buy-in. So we're quite confident that we should be able to fulfill the pilot program numbers without any challenges.
Anything for you, Councillor Wolvette?
That's all I have, really, other than what's the cost to the town? Zero, right?
There is a small cost to the town. For the total for the 100 units, the total cost to the town with net HST would be about $12,759.84.
And where would that money come from right now?
That would come from your waste, garbage and recycling contract.
We do have a surplus in that, so.
Surplus due to our current changes, which will be further discussed in the next item. I wouldn't want to use the word surplus, but we do have healthy reserves if we do are in a deficit position at the end of the year.
Sounds good then, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Christina, just one brief question, supply. Do we have a good suppliers? Are they readily available? Are we looking at any backlog if we happen to go live with this and people are snapping them up? I guess that's always a concern.
Our supply chain is strong and we have a good amount of inventory ready to go. So we would be able to deliver in July. And if there's excess demand and further orders, we'd be able to do that within 30 days turnaround.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Remember,
I guess that'd be my question. What if we have more than the sort of 100 test people? Are we gonna open that up to further people at a discount or just the first 100 people?
That would be just at the discretion of this council and committee. We could enter into another round if the supplies are available. That is outlined in our proposal. So that is a possibility. If we see huge subscription numbers, we can authorize a second purchase of that.
Committee member Rapel, do you have anything for Christina or for Mr. Szymanski?
My question would be, how old is this technology? I mean, with the price, I mean, usually has these systems have been on the market longer, the cost comes down. I was just wondering if this is relatively new technology or yeah, to that extent.
So there are two models that we're proposing with this program. One is a smaller capacity and a lower price point, and one is a higher capacity and a higher price point for larger households. The FC30, which is the smaller one, has been on the market since 2016. And the Eco 5, which is the larger one, has just launched in January of this year. So it's a brand new product.
Now, since these products have been on the market, has the price come down since they were first released in 2016?
The price has remained relatively the same, at least at the retail level. But with this program, we have some federal funding from Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada through the Impact Canada Food Waste Reduction Challenge. So through discounts and that federal funding, the price has been reduced by 50% to your municipality. And then with your municipal contribution, the resident price is significantly decreased as well.
Is that everything, Mr. Apel?
Yeah, no further questions.
Councilor Wolvett,
Could I ask, how do we plan on marketing, this product? Is that your job as a company to marketing? I know we can certainly assist from town hall, but how do you plan on doing that?
Yeah, so we have a team that will assist with implementation to whatever degree that is necessary for your resources. We typically provide marketing materials and resident packages and suggestions as to how you let your community know that this program is launching. So we could provide, social media posts, a copy of a press release, that kind of stuff. And that usually will do the trick, particularly with the number of households in your population. I believe that would be sufficient for subscription. If we need to ramp that up, we can assist to the degree that you desire.
So those costs are, for you guys, not the town, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
Okay.
correct. So implementation and all of the support that's required to launch the program, that's all included in the cost of the unit. So no additional costs for any administration.
Thank you.
I just have one quick question for Mr. Sabansky, I guess. Because I know in here that there's an initial investment number there for 100. So I'm assuming that's for the smaller ones that we're purchasing 100.
It's 50 of each.
50 of each. So that's, I'm not seeing any further questions. So we have a motion on the floor to receive, endorse, and forward to council for final approval. The waste diversion food cycle pilot program. I will call for a vote. All in favor? That's carried. Item 7.3, I have a motion from committee member Jeff DeVlute, seconded by Councilor Wolvett, that the report prepared by Adam Sabansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 29th, 2023, regarding the proposed Marcotte Disposal Inc. contract extension be received, endorsed, and forwarded to council for final approval. I will start. Do anything to add, Mr. Smith? You want to go straight?
No, I don't think I have anything to add. The report went through most of the important items. There is a substantial cost increase, but there's also a substantial increase to the level of service being provided to our citizens. One of the biggest inequities I've noticed in our garbage collection system is that we provided yard waste collection here in Wyoming, but we did not do so in Plympton. I understand that was a rollover since the time of amalgamation, and that was done primarily because Wyoming had lower cost of garbage collection due to the denser population of the than Plympton area. That being said, though, what we've also noticed is that the yard waste in Plympton area doesn't get used in farm fields or around houses. It gets put in the garbage. So we are actually paying higher collection rates and higher disposal rates because the yard waste is not going to be recycled or reused. It's going to the landfill. So Marcotte looked at the values of taking that stream out and putting it into yard waste and found that it was beneficial to them as well. And that is why the additional cost to add the yard waste collection for the Plympton area, when you look at the grand scheme of the budget, is actually fairly reasonable. The majority of the cost increase is actually in relation to staff cost and fuel cost this time.
Right, so I will open up for questions. I'll begin on my right with committee member Jeff DeVlute. Do you have any questions for Mr. Sabansky?
Yeah, I guess that was just gonna be my question around. We used to have the green sort of compost recyclable, and we got away from that, and yet there's still all this waste going, so I just wondered where we're gonna change that and go back to where we can collect more of the yard clippings and everything and go to more of a reuse or like a mulch location instead of going to dump.
Yes, sir. So the yard waste will be going still to the city of Sarnia's yard waste via Transco. City of Sarnia does not allow us to drop directly off. It has to come from one of their approved providers. Transco and Marcotte is approved provider. So they sort out the plastic bags and everything at Transco and then ship it to Sarnia for composting and processing. The program also changes how we collect the yard waste. We'll be collecting it for 4 weeks in the spring, which we have not provided spring collection previously. and then an additional 9 weeks in the fall. So that will, and we'll be targeting a little bit different time of year. We typically start collecting early in October. We're going to push it to later October as our seasons have changed. Annual leaves are falling a bit later every year. And the pickup times were not lining up. So we're hoping that this will be much more efficient and will divert a fair bit more yard waste from our landfills.
Committee member Rayful, do you have anything? Mr. Spansky?
No, the extra costs were clear, so thank you for that explanation. Nothing further.
Councilor Wolfett?
The cost for picking up the compost stuff, that was only charged to Wyoming residents anyways at the time, right? They paid an extra fee for that. They didn't pay it out in the old Plympton. I believe there, it was separate. I don't have the contract in front of me.
The way the costs, because of the location, Wyoming is closer, there is less fuel. So Marcotte included the yard waste in Wyoming in their fees that they were charging. So it was built in, but the pricing between Plympton and Wyoming was the same. So now we're just leveling the field and everyone gets the yard waste and the values are spread across it.
So let me just. What is going to be the final price in for garbage pickup versus recycling pickup? Well, recycle part of it, our costs are going to go down to zero, right?
Eventually, we, for the next 2.5 years, we'll get a grant to offset those costs
Right.
from CMO, provided we are able to recycle better than we have in the past. We will get that full value of the grant, but it's contingent on minimal contamination and the certain value of recyclables that are coming in. So that is not a guaranteed number. You asked about the value. So if you're looking at the information that Marcotte provided us on page 6 of 7 of their document, the first 3 pages were cut off due to the they were amended proposals. Marcotte included them as part of our initial discussion. So looking at those values. So the garbage annually in the Plympton area costs 259,000 based on 2022 numbers. Garbage annually in Wyoming costs 760,000. So the per unit rate of garbage in Wyoming is $6.71 per month and $8.25 in Plympton per month. That's due to the spread outedness of the Plympton area versus the Wyoming area.
So page 6 of 7.
Yes, sir.
So garbage will be $99.
Approximately, sir, yes.
In the recycling, $96.
Yes, sir. And then in Wyoming, you see the unit rate there is $80 for garbage and $95 for recycling. And then they're charging a flat fee for all yard waste of $32,500 per month or $7,500 per week. That's a flat fee for the entire all urban areas. This still does not farming areas. It just includes urban areas for yard waste pickup.
No, if I'm reading this correctly, and sorry if I'm not, that is included in the above rates, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
I guess I just have one quick question for Mr. Zabansky for the financial impact, looking at the grants and the offset. Does this take into account the recycling money that will be receiving?
Yes, sir.
But I'm not seeing anything else. I will, the motion on the floor to receive, endorse, and forward the proposed Marcotte disposal contract extension for final approval. I'll call for a vote, all in favor. Committee member Rapel.
In favor.
I'm just seeing now virtual stuff, always guessing. I see Christina dropped off, so I don't know if you can just let her or thank her for attending. I'm seeing we have Nothing under item 8 for bylaws.
We have a supplementary, sir.
Oh, that's
We have the motion for the supplementary.
And print it off for.
Okay. we can do that. Thank you, Nicole. Motion will be the same as the recommendation. If you wanted to read it off and get it moved in seconders, we could discuss while we wait.
So I will, I'll read the recommendation and then I'll ask for a mover and a seconder. So it is that the report by Adam Spansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 31st, 2023, regarding the installation of line stops on the Front Street water main just east of Broadway Street to facilitate the future reconstruction projects within the Wyoming urban area be received, and that the quote from TKO Industrial Services for $39.64 plus HST be endorsed. Do I have someone willing to move that motion? Councilmember DeVlue, seconded by Mayor Atkinson. We'll open up the floor for questions for Mr. Spansky. I'll start with Committee Member Rapel. Do you have anything for Mr. Spansky on this one?
I take it TKO is being considered for this because of their past experience for this type of work.
Yes, sir. TKO staff through different companies have performed all the line stops in Plympton-Wyoming since probably going all the way back to 2016.
Okay, no further question.
Okay, thank you. I will move to Councilor Wolfett.
We had it dug up at the corner of Front Street. What did we do there? That, we're not gonna dig up again, are we?
No, sir, this is the east corner. We dug up the
Okay.
west corner last time.
That's what I was thinking, but I'm thinking hopefully digging up that new pavement. No, that's all I have.
Yes, through you to Mr. Sabansky, it says just east of Broadway. Are we on Front Street or or physically it will be done?
It would be only about 30 meters off of Broadway Street where the water main runs through the alleyway in behind Broadway.
I think it's a good idea to do it.
Couple questions for Adam through you, Mr. Chair. I just noticed that the proposal excludes cranes and a few other items. Do we have a handle what those costs would be to the town to help execute that work?
So we have typically hired our emergency contractor to do this work on an hourly basis. They have all the equipment that's needed to do it, including excavators, boom trucks, etc. So typically their bill is in the range of $10,000 for this work before restoration. And their hourly rates haven't gone up since actually we started this work. So we have a fairly good idea that the non-line stop work will be about $10,000.
Not if that's represent the council when it goes, that they know that there's those additional costs, the town will be here.
Yes.
I have that.
Seeing anything else? So we have the motion moved by Committee Member Jeff DeVlue, second by Mayor Atkinson. The report regarding the installation of line stops on the Front Street water main just east of Broadway Street to facilitate future reconstruction projects within the Wyoming urban area be received, and that the quote from TKO Industrial Services be endorsed and passed to council. All in favor? That's carried. We'll come back to the regular agenda. And 9, Plympton area water supply. We have a motion moved by Committee Member Jeff DeVlue, seconded by Councilor Wolfett, that the minutes from the laws meeting be received for April 27, 2023. I will open that up for discussion. I'll start on my left with Mayor Atkinson. Anything to add?
I have nothing.
Councilor Wolfett,
I have nothing.
Committee Member Rapel,
Nothing further.
So I will call for the vote. All in favor? Paul?
In favor.
Thank you. Carried. Move on to item 10, which is correspondence with action. One, a motion moved by Councillor Wolvett, seconded by committee member Jeff DeVlute, that the draft letter dated June 1st, 2023, regarding the reconstruction of Confederation Line be received, endorsed, and forwarded to the Plympton Area Water Supply System Joint Board of Management for their consideration. So that draft letter was provided to us. I will open it up for discussion. Starting with Councillor Wolvett.
This would replace the concrete road down there, would it not?
Yes, sir.
That was requested by a individual a couple or 3 years ago, if you recall. So that would be a good thing for that section to be replaced.
Yes, sir.
Now this letter is going to go to laws. Do you believe that we will get their support?
I can't speak for the laws board. However, in discussions with their general manager, he appreciated the links we went through to minimize the costs to laws and to maximize the amount of time they've had to consider it.
Okay, and I guess final, if they don't chip in, we still go ahead.
Yes, sir. We'd be leaving their asbestos concrete main where it lies and moving forward with our own projects.
Thank you.
Do my best to.
You ever did look? Nothing. You have Rapel?
No further comment.
Okay, thank you. So I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Paul?
In favor.
Thank you. Carried. Move on to item 11, correspondence, recommended reading and routine approval and information items. We have a motion moved by Councillor Wolvett, seconded by committee member Jeff DeVlute, that the correspondence relating to recommended reading and routine approval information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee and filed accordingly. We have the Jacobs monthly report for April. I will open that up for anyone who wants to pull that and talk about it. Paul?
I had no further comment.
Councilor Wolvett?
The only comments, I guess I'm just reading in here, complaints and call outs. I'm seeing that a couple of times there, you responded to emergency water shut off. So would that have come through the emergency number?
Yes.
And the reason I'm asking that question, not this community, but certainly another community, there really was no place to call. Nobody answered the phone and about a major water leak in the basement, nobody shut it off. That's going back 2 or 3 years. So obviously our emergency number is working. And it's fine.
On the Plympton-Wyoming website as well, so.
Also in our phone system. If someone calls the office after hours and there is an option for emergency water, wastewater services.
So thank you for that.
That's what we're here for.
Mayor Atkinson?
No, I'm just glad that the system works. Instead of getting phone calls about raccoons and stuff like that. The mayor would prefer that it goes to the.
I see nothing further, so I'll call for a motion or a vote on the motion on the table. All in favor? Paul?
In favor.
Thank you. Carried. So next we have item 12, new business. I will just quickly go around if there's any new business. Mayor Atkinson?
No, I have nothing.
Roll back.
No, I do not have anything tonight, sir.
Rapel?
Nothing for me.
Nothing. Easy. We'll, Mr. Spansky.
Thank you. I emailed the committee a proposal from Jacobs Engineering Division in regards to assisting us submitting what's called a DMAF application to the federal government. It's specifically designed to help municipalities who are having challenges in regards to their wastewater systems. So Jacobs Engineering will be helping us submit a application. The reason that it's being processed quickly is the application is due in mid-July. We need to make sure that we get all the information out on time. So I provided that information through email to the committee. Please note that the approval of the proposal was within the parameters set in the procurement bylaw. So we will be moving forward at this time.
Any questions for Mr. Spansky? Seeing none. Okay, we will carry on, item 13, opposed.
No, sir.
That brings us to item 14, adjournment. We have a motion moved by committee member Jeff DeBlute, seconded by Councilor Wolvette. The Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee regular meeting be adjourned until the next regular meeting to be held August 3rd, 2023 at 5 p.m. That's August 3rd, not July. All in favor? All like that one?
In favor.
Carried. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Anyone watching? Thank you from staff for being here.
Thank you.